Today we are going to be focusing on week 3. So again, let's start from the very beginning. Say you have logged into your Canvas, which you all know how to do. And from there, we're going to go to our Wiki Education dashboard. So mine already fills it in, dashboard.wikiedu.org. I'm going to click go. I'm already logged in. My computer keeps me logged in. And for you, you'll just see this one. So the history of sociological theory. Click on it. And we are going, this is our home page. It should show you the active week will be week 3. And if not, we can go to timeline. We'll click week 3 and we'll go from there. So this week we have an exercise, a discussion, and a guide for writing articles in sociology on Wikipedia. Let's start with the exercise. So this week, your exercise is to choose your article from a pre-approved list. So we're going to click on view, very short, and this is going to tell you how to assign yourself an article. So while you're logged in, you're going to click the Assign Myself an Article button in your My Article section on the Home tab. So let's go do that. Say we're home, we're in the Home tab, and we're going to click right here, Assign Myself an Article. So in this list, you'll see available articles that have been evaluated by Dr. Dickinson and myself for suitable stubs to expand on, sociological stubs on Wikipedia that have been identified as important to edit. So you're going to come through here. Feel free to click on them. So if you click, for example, on a link, anticipatory socialization, if you scroll down, you can see it's very small. There's no photos. And if you come here, you can see that it definitely needs an edit. Feel free to click around all the different topics. So let's click a different one and see what else we get. So you can see, for example, here, you're going to see this in many of the articles that you click around, little alerts about a problem with the article. So for example, its sources are unclear because it lacks inline citation, which is expected because it's only 2 sentences long. So, and as you can see, if you scroll to the bottom, some of your articles will say this sociology related article is a stub, and then you can help Wikipedia by expanding it. That's exactly what we're doing. So all of these articles have been identified as stubs by the sociology community on Wikipedia. Some will have it listed at the bottom, some will not. I'm not exactly sure why. If you want to see a full list of stubs, you can click on here. It's totally up to you. We've kind of combed through them to find articles that are somewhat relevant to our coursework or quite relevant. So for example, let's click on one more and see what we find. Let's do double hermeneutic. Let's click on that. So you can see, for example, that each article is going to have a different level of completeness so far. So unlike the first 2 articles, this one's a little bit more expanded, but obviously it could have more done with it. So you're going to click around, you're going to look at these, you're going to decide what you are most interested in, and then you'll click select and assign yourself one of these articles. Okay, so let's go back here. So you can ignore this. You will not be working in groups. This is for if you're working on an article as a group. And it says review page 6 of your editing Wikipedia guidebook for more tips. I highly recommend doing this. If you click on here, it'll take you to the link if you have not downloaded this already. This was in your first module. And if we go to page 6, we'll see that it's about choosing our topic and identifying reliable resources. So just this one page kind of gives you the feedback of choosing your topic, finding good sources, and that those both feed into each other. What's really important is Wikipedia's designation of notability. So rather than search online, they do recommend asking your librarian to help you find good, reliable sources. So feel free to get in touch with one of the librarians at the U of S library. They are fantastic, specifically the Murray Library, and they can help you find acceptable sources. So that would be published books, textbooks, and peer-reviewed work in academic journals. written by experts in the field that you're writing about. You don't want to be citing blog posts or information that is one-sided or opinion columns. A good measure of notability is finding 3 to 5 good sources that address your topic. And then you can really start drafting in that area. Again, it gives you some criteria for making sure that it's a trustworthy source. You guys have experience doing this, and then you can go from there. So if we go back here, we'll keep going through the module in your article. So say that you've picked an article, and if you have picked an article, you can draft 1 to 2 sentences on your article sandbox page. Don't worry about this yet if you haven't. And you can find the page on your home section. So we're gonna say I went home, and then if you had chosen an article, it would be showing up here in my articles, and it would have these, it would have these tabs: bibliography, sandbox, draft, and article. So I'm going to show you, it says check out the talk page too to see what other Wikipedians are already contributing. So I'm going to show you how to look at a talk page on a Wikipedia article. So say I have looked through these articles and I've chosen one, and say I chose social theory, which I already have up here. Say I chose social theory. If you go here, you click, so this is what usually pops up, is the article. What you probably haven't noticed when you've been on Wikipedia before, or very few of you have noticed, is this talk button here. So here on the article page, if you scroll down, again, normally what you see on Wikipedia, you can see that this option has more content, but sometimes that can make it harder to edit rather than easier. It all depends. But despite its length, you can see that it has several issues. So it contains what they call weasel words, which is biased language. It's written like a personal reflection instead of an essay, and it needs more verification in its citations. So all things that would be a really good choice in your Wikipedia assignment. But I'm going to show you what happens when you click talk page. So if you click talk, and you can do this on Wikipedia when you're not logged in, any article you're looking at, you can click on the talk page. You can see what topics on Wikipedia have made this a priority. So Wiki Project Sociology has given this a C rating, which is actually pretty good, and it's of top importance for sociology, Wiki Project Sociology. So if you come down here, this is the talk page. So you can see what people have said about previous versions of the article. So here someone says that someone had done some extensive edits and they looked like maybe it was vandalism. Someone here commented on why they changed the original name, which was social theory versus sociological theory, and they have this whole explanation. Someone made some minor edits, postmodern social theory section. They're explaining why they edited it. And you can go through here, and it's really interesting. You can look at the evolution of a Wikipedia page. Sometimes if you're trying to figure out what to write, what has been said, what hasn't been said, what's already been changed when you're editing an article, the talk page is a great place to come because you can see if your idea had been in there and then changed for some reason. So the very first person you can see who was editing the article wrote their plans for the article and what they were planning to do. So this is the talk page. Pretty neat. Now, if you pick a topic that does not have an active talk page, so that particular one did have an active talk page, but let's say I was looking at one here, dyad. Say I chose dyad. And you click the talk page here. If you scroll down, again, you can see that it's considered a Wiki Project Sociology stub, again, what we're expanding, and then it's of mid-importance to Wiki Project Sociology, but there is no talk on this page, which isn't a bad thing. It just means that it has not been looked at extensively. So it doesn't mean it's a poor choice. It just means that it's going to have different challenges. So that's the talk page. And when you're looking at your article and you're starting to think of how you want to edit it, these are some questions you should be asking yourself. I'd like you to go over them, especially when you have your chosen article in front of you, and really consider that. And what can you add? Consider posting some of your ideas to the article's talk page. So as you saw in that first example, on this dyad example, sorry, not dyad, social theory example, you can see that someone put their editing plans. So if you have chosen an article and you want to edit the talk page, please do so and list some of your plans. Next page, thinking about sources. So we're going to compile a list of relevant, reliable sources. Again, that's journal articles. We're going to post that bibliography to the talk page of the article you'll be working on and on the bib page in your sandbox. And to find your bibliography page, again, we're going to go to your My Article section and click on Bibliography link to see what we're working on. Make sure to check in on the talk page to see if anyone has advice on your bibliography. So if you had turned on your email notifications, then if you've flagged it in your watch list by clicking a star next to View History. So for example, we're going to go here. If you click right here, this star, it adds it to your watch list. So if any edits are made on the talk page, you'll get an alert and you can see what someone has, if someone's given you feedback on that. And once you finish this, you can click, go back to home and click complete exercise. Again, that'll be here and it'll be the assignment for the week. You'll click mark complete and we'll go, okay, we finished this section. After you've gone through the modules, please make sure that you have noticed that you have an assignment due on January 29th. So as the module showed, you've chosen your article, but you also need to submit an assignment. So let's go back to the Canvas tab. And this week it's due January 29th at 11:59, 5 points like our last assignment. If you click on that, I'll give an example. Sorry, a description rather. And it says it's time to choose a Wikipedia article to edit, which you already did. And then in a Word document, 12-point Times New Roman double spaced, you're going to tell us the article that you chose. You're going to answer the questions listed below, and you're going to provide at least 3 potential sources for your article. We know these sources can change while you work on your article, but what this does is it gives a foundation for why you are going to be able to expand your article. As we've already discussed in the modules, each article requires at least 2 to 3 sources to make it an acceptable article on Wikipedia. So this lets us know that you are going in the right direction. So in this Word document, you're just going to identify the article that you've already chosen and assigned to yourself on the Wikipedia dashboard. You're going to answer the following questions about your article. Again, no academic citations needed. So this can just be one paragraph. It doesn't have to be long. And then you can, in a separate paragraph, you can just list the 3 reliable sources that you're planning on using so far. Again, these can change. You can have more than 3. You can add a couple, take away one. It doesn't matter. But what's important now is to know that you have at least 3 sources that you think you're going to be able to draw on to expand the article. So it's not a long assignment. It's short and sweet. It just lets us know that you've chosen an article, you're thinking about these questions, and that you have at least 3 potential sources. So please put that into a Word document and upload it here on Canvas. Again, that's 5 points. It's 5% of your grade, so please make sure that you do that. And then the discussion, what's a content gap? Again, this is optional. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post these questions to consider on the Canvas dashboard, on your Canvas discussion boards. And you feel free to answer some of these questions, have discussions, especially if you think it's going to help with your work this week. I will be there monitoring, and then that's it. Again, if you have any questions, you know where to find me, and I will see you for the next assignment.